Hello, Game of Thrones fans, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Lady Firesnow. We are sitting here now. Quaithe Theories is with me. You want to say hello, Quaithe?
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for joining me again. We are excited. We just watched episode 2 for the first time. I know that Quaithe has been doing some speed watching to go through it again. And actually, we're about to push play. We're going to actually just kind of let it play while we're talking so we can talk about each thing that happened as it happens. And Quaithe, I'll pause on my end when we, get into a topic on something, on a scene,
Okay.
So
Yes.
The first, and I'm looking to the left because I'm watching the video at the same, watching the, the show at the same time, guys. So the very first thing I want to bring up was the map. We asked about the map, right? If it was going to change. And I did see one minor change. If anybody else saw anything else, let me know. But what I saw was that, of course, all the tiles were already flipped over, and it was already that icy blue color between Harcourt. How do we say the long? I think it's I can't say it.
Hearth.
It's the Hearth. Yeah, the Hearth. The first, castle that got destroyed, and then it showed the tiles turning as you were going to Winterfell. Only. So that was the only change I saw. I think everything else looked identical. Would you agree?
I also noticed in Winterfell they're getting it ready. Did you see that they have it war ready? They have the pits. They have the spikes up. They have the glass up.
I did see that. Was that in the map too?
That's in the map. Yeah.
Really? I missed it. I missed it. You know what? I'm gonna push play so I can see. So I can see it because I missed that. Oh, I see it. The spikes.
Do you see it?
Oh, yes, all around the perimeter.
The trench? Do you see the trench around it?
Yes, I do. I do see it. Interesting. I totally missed that.
That's like the 3D effect that I really like that they're doing with the camera angle.
Yes. That is really cool. I like that.
Graphics. Yeah.
Wow, they really stepped up their up their game, right?
So I like that we see this because they're not doing this looking at it. We're in it. We're in Winterfell, but we don't know where they're putting it up. Or we see it here on the map.
Right.
It's interesting how they dug it out, looking at where they put the spikes and how far they went.
Right. Yeah. When I rewatch it after this live stream, you better believe I'm going to watch this episode another 2-3 times and probably rewatch certain parts again and again.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
You're right about it being more talking and strategizing, and there wasn't as much action and stuff, but
a lot of drama.
There was a lot of important information, so the talking and what was said, and I like all the jokes. I mean, they went back to a humor, you know.
They did. Yeah, I loved the Tormund and Brienne. That was one of my things. I was like, I really want to see more Tormund and Brienne, and we did. And so.
And I did. Yeah, and I saw Ghost there, so...
Yes, finally we got a view. We got to see him, that's about it, but...
Yeah, I was hoping that he was out recruiting, and it would be like this big scene of, his soldiers come in behind him.
Right.
But no, that would be kind of cool, though. You never know. Still have time for him to go recruit.
You never know. I think... I don't know how that works.
Go get help.
Yeah. Go get somebody. So I'm in the first scene. I was a little bit shocked that they jumped right into this first scene with, Jaime already standing there. It's like, why was Bran waiting for him if he wasn't going to say anything to him?
Yeah.
Like, and then he threw that in, like, that was that look that Jaime made, was like, oh shit, is he going to say something? When he said, the things we do for love. It's like letting him know. It was like letting him know. But what I don't get is that they had to have some kind of interaction when he arrived. You know what I mean? Like, I was just a little surprised by that.
Yeah. I don't know why they set us up like that when they didn't do that.
Yeah. Maybe they... Yeah, I was a little taken back by that.
I think Dany is showing what I think the importance of her talking about her dad and talking to Jaime the way she's talking is to show the similarities of her dad and her brother. and how far her mind can go into that crazy really quick, really
Right.
quick. She can be soft. She can, but she can get into that crazy tone and crazy mode really quick, which is not healthy to be in power. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's not healthy. You can't do that. You got to keep your calm and your cool in your mind. So I think they're showing that so we can see more of how she's going to lose it.
Yes, I had my daughter and my son-in-law were here, and he was saying the same thing. He was like, I think that this is leading down the direction of Danny becoming the villain, which I've heard that it was a very big theory, is that the person that you loved in the beginning, the person that you've been rooting for the whole time, is probably going to be the biggest enemy in the end. And
she's an obstacle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was Scripps who was commenting on our last live stream and was asking about the Dance of Dragons, the Dance of Dragons whole thing, and how do we think we're going to see that? And he said the same thing. He said, I do. I think we're going to see it. In the end, the ones that are going to be fighting each other can very possibly be Danny and John. I have a hard time with that, because I've always thought that she was going to have a baby, and it's hard to see how they're going to be fighting each other with a baby.
She's not, though. Who's to say she's not? I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
She who's to say she's not? I think there's going to be a little bit. I think there's going to be two wars going on. There's going to be their private war together, and everyone's going to know what's going on except for Bran and Sam. I think they are not going to be seeing eye to eye a lot. I think that it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be kind of confusing. They're going to do that, the two wars, and I think that's going to be the reason why they do lose, if they do lose, of course, is because they can't get their thoughts together.
So before we move on to the next scene, I was happy to see Danny and Sansa kind of be, on the same page a little bit before they left this scene. And I was also very, I feel like we should have seen that coming, that Brienne was the one that actually defended Jaime. And because of Sansa's respect for Brienne, that's really what saved Jaime. And I really thought it was going to be Bran, or I thought it was going to be Sam, or I thought it was going to be someone else. And I should have seen that coming, because Brienne was there at the table. Brienne is the one that knows all the truth of what happened with the Mad King. Brienne, I'm actually surprised she didn't say something. I was waiting for her to say, by the way, the reason he killed your father was because he saved thousands of people, millions of people at King's Landing. And he's a man of honor. And, and then to go on with all the other things that she told him. So we should have seen that one coming, Quaithe.
You're right. We should have seen it coming. But we were so fixated on him because of the way they had him acting at the beginning.
Yes.
But now that all the Starks, I was kind of trying to get a read on the Starks and how they were all acting and how things were going. Mm-hmm. But we need a little bit more, and now I think this episode gave us a little bit more on the Starks, and especially on Bran. And they actually got him to be a little normal,
I did hear that
he showed a little bit of feelings,
Yes, he did, and I did hear that he was going to be more human-like this season. He was going to have more. I think he's still emotionless, though. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm not really happy. Yeah, I'm not really sad. I don't even know if he's scared. You had mentioned that he seemed like he might be scared.
Because he knows. I don't know if it's word scared, but I know he's concerned because he knows they want him, and I like that he addressed that with everybody, and he put it out to all of us too, to say, okay, there's the reason, and he put the reason out there, because of course that's what everyone's like. Why Bran? What's up with Bran? He did two things that confused me. His meeting with Jaime finally, and saying, how do we know there's going to be an afterwards? How do we know?
Yeah, we're not there yet. Let's wait till we get to that conversation.
And then, let me just put that out there, so in case people want to type it in or chat, they can have that we're going to chime in on that.
We're going to be chiming in on that.
Then the confusion conversation, then when we're back at the Knights of the Round Table, where he's like, well, I could be here, so he really doesn't have that much information. I thought he does.
Right.
So those are two things I want to talk later. If anyone has some information about that, please let's put that in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at the very end of that first scene, Danny notices, you can see it. I'm watching it again. You can see the look on her face, the way John just says, "Your Grace," and walks away. Right. And she kind of looks like.
Sansa walks up. She's like, I didn't dismiss anybody. Where's everybody going?
Yeah. She was like, she's very used to like sitting on the throne and everyone is way beneath her. And she's not used to this, people beside her that are like making calls, basically.
Yeah. And that was my question to you, Lady Fire. So I wanted to know, okay, so her dad got murdered, and she got taken where, and who raised her and her brother?
Okay,
so was she always pampered? Was she always been doted on?
No, actually, no, not at all. She was actually, maybe to a degree. They were taken to Essos and Pentos, and that's supposedly where they grew up. There's a big theory about her remembering, I think it's a lemon tree outside of a place with a red door. And the crazy thing is that where they supposedly were, lemon trees don't grow there, So there's a little conversation about that. But she was always taught that she was her brother's property. She belonged to her brother. She was supposed to marry her brother because that's what Targaryens did. And she was his property, and she was his slave. And he treated her as such, as you see in the very first episode of the series. So I really don't think she was necessarily, she was pampered in a way that she was a princess, but I don't think she was pampered in a way that she always kind of got her way. I think that's happened to her throughout the series. Throughout the series, she's become this queen that calls the shots and does what she thinks is just, regardless of what she thinks anyone else thinks. And she's kind of become a little bit, as people do when they have too much power, they become a little bit almighty.
Which what her brother did. That's where he went wrong.
That's where he went wrong. Exactly. Which leads back into that thing is, are we going to see that become the outcome of Danny in the end? Is she going to become the villain? Right? What do you guys think? Is she going to become the villain?
Villain, kind of mad like her dad is,
the Mad King.
Is the bloodline going to come into play here, and, is John going to be like, I don't think we should cover this, and I don't know,
Right.
Interesting, though.
Interesting.
You're saying that, that's what I wanted to know is she acts like this. Yes, I did see a little bit throughout the series of her being, fall down, but she's pushed for that. She's pushed for that a lot, for people to bow down for her as if she's owed that. But I just didn't know what her back history was. I couldn't remember if she was raised that way or this is just something that she feels she's owed. But thanks for clearing that up. But yeah, I don't know. I've never been a big Danny fan. You know that. So.
Right. I know. You're usually not one to love the character that everyone loves, like the one that the story is leading you to love. You usually look at things from an opposite perspective, and which is one of the things I love about your theories and your conversing with you, is that you have a different outlook than the average person.
I've never really seen her as a strong leader. I always see she's got a lot of faults, and that shows. I always saw Tyrion as one because he's very humbled by his mistakes and he owns up to them. And that was a conversation in the show today that they talked about, that Jorah talked about. He owns up to his mistakes. So I always saw him as more of a strong leader than her. Mm-hmm. So that's always been my secret wish, that he would be the one to take it. But
Tyrion.
Yes, Tyrion.
I think we all love Tyrion in that way, that he makes sense that he would be next in line. Okay, so I'm in the Arya. We kind of went through her threatening Tyrion. Now that you bringing up Tyrion, kind of went through that, and him being like, "Oh shit, I'm probably not going to be the hand anymore." you know. But I think that was necessary for the scene we're going to see after the Arya Gendry scene. So Gendry obviously had no idea that Arya had become this badass fighter, and he's obviously trying to protect her, not taking her serious with her weapons. But it was nice to see them kind of, you know, have another connection before they decided to jump in the sack together.
Yeah, I could not watch. It was like seeing my daughter or something. I was like, I can't watch. I was like, no.
I think I almost cried. I think that's not the one that really got me crying, but that one was like, oh my gosh, she's becoming a lady.
And I think the main thing of the whole thing today was being knighted. I think that was huge. That was my tear part.
Brienne, oh, that's what got me for sure.
That got me.
I cried. Sure. I cried when Brienne got knighted. I definitely did. I dropped some tears. I had to wipe them down. So, you know, I was like, she deserved that. She deserved that. I hope they're not about to kill her off.
Yeah, no, they're all going to get killed off. They're all saying their goodbyes. You can tell.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that's out there is like, we're going to lose half our characters.
Yeah,
you think we're going to lose half?
Our characters, and even if they don't get killed, they're going to be really bad injured. They're like barely going to, some of them are barely going to survive. Yeah, I like a lot of the reunions today.
Yes, we did get some new reunions today. We certainly did.
It goes back to a lot of my past of what I've talked about, who I think is going to be their strong person to buddy up with. A lot of those reunions, they all buddied up what I thought.
The ones that were going to be, the ones that kind of were together. So at the end of
Jamie and Bran,
Jamie and yes,
they're strong people.
Yes. Well, I was actually
waiting for the red woman to come in.
Yeah, like where's the red woman? Yeah, I'm waiting for her too. I bet she's not going to come until after this battle, obviously, because the battle's already there at the end of this episode. But so what I noticed that in the Gendry Arya scene that was when I was wrong about her already having that weapon in her hand. She was actually just picking up some dragon glass there, asking him, "Where's my weapon?" And I like that, you know, as she spoke, she was actually throwing, you know, the daggers, and he saw that she could actually aim, you know. So I was, you know, that was the end of that scene. What's next? What comes next? Yeah, their little flirtation is kind of cute, right?
Yeah, it was kind of like.
It was cute. It was cute. Okay, so after that is when they came to the Bran and Jaime scene. So let's talk about that a little bit, where he apologizes to Bran. And Bran's like, "It's all right. I'm not mad." No big deal. I wouldn't be who I am. And he didn't even tell him who he was. He just said something else. Yeah, you know, he just said something else. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And I still don't understand why this didn't happen when they first met. Like, you know, it just seems that still seems weird to me how that. I think they did the whole ending with Jaime and Bran at the end of the last episode is just kind of a callback to the first episode, right? To the first episode of the series, just to do that reverse reaction kind of thing. But then they just kind of like were like, okay, yeah, let's move forward. That just was a little bit unexpected for me.
It's like they changed their mind.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, it's I don't know.
Wouldn't it be better if they stood by the tree and there, you know, he approaches him and I don't know. I think that was really interesting. I actually like that scene where it's just them two.
I do too. It's not that I don't like the scene. I do like the scene.
I just, you're right. It was very strange how they just cut to him being inside in the courthouse.
Yeah, they just cut through that whole thing like they didn't have a conversation. He was like, "Just this way, Jaime." I mean, that's just. Yeah,
I've been waiting for you for like ever.
Right, the whole episode I've been waiting for you, but I didn't have anything to tell you. It was just a little bit. That was a little bit odd for me. I think
it was a little bit odd. Like they didn't know which direction to go.
Right. So I noticed they have been putting dragon glass, like you mentioned earlier, all the stakes around that's where we're at now, is where they're actually preparing and creating those stakes. And I also noticed later in the episode where they actually had on the top of the, you know, where they fight at the very top. I forget the name of it. I'm sorry. It's the end of the day. So, but they had just dragon glass on everything. They had it everywhere. It's like if you guys try to crawl over, you're gonna get cut with dragon glass.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that was nice to see though. Jaime and Tyrion together again. That's a reunion in itself, you know, to me. They haven't seen each other. Well, they saw each other at the Dragon Pit.
Airtime today. It was mostly their show today.
Yeah, and that that concerns me, right?
Yes, me too.
If they're that much on the episode, episode, one of them is gonna die next episode.
I was just like, okay.
Did when you say that's how it usually works?
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah, and what do you mean? Jaime even put a little thing telling Brienne, I can't fight as good as I can.
Yeah, he did say that. He was like, I'm not as good a fighter as I used to be. There was, I don't know if you guys if you don't want to hear about a leak, you might want to skip forward about 5 or I don't know, we're live streaming, so you might want to put me on mute for a minute, and then I'll go like this when I'm done saying it. But there was a leak that came out that there was going to be a scene during this battle, and it was going to be Sansa, and it was going to be Sansa, Bran, I think it's Bran, Sansa, and for sure Brienne and Jaime. Okay, and that supposedly Jaime was going to die when he was defending them. There was a leak that came out, and so if that, I could see that happening. I mean, as much airtime as they gave Tyrion and Jaime, even together, it was just. And then remember they were sitting in front of the fire, and he said, "Father, I would love to. Father was here because he would just." It would just make him crazy if he knew both of his sons were going to die defending Winterfell. I mean,
they said that a lot. That was a lot of their conversation. There was a lot of There was a lot.
We're all going to die. We're going to die. We're going to die. There was a lot of that.
Again. Remember when we first got here?
Yes.
They talked a lot about that.
Yes, they did.
Their history and their past. To me, hopefully they're not wasting our time. Because it was kind of like, okay, what's the point of this conversation? Maybe it is the goodbye to him, but I don't know. So Jaime dies. You say he dies, right? Okay.
Oh shoot! Oh no! Don't. I just let them know they can come back in. We don't know that for sure.
This is us guessing. This is just us guessing, guys. Sorry.
Right.
So say he does die. Say he does. Because like we said, we're gonna lose characters. Say Jaime does. We don't know if he is. But and he becomes the undead. So does he the one that goes over and finds his sister and kills him like it was prophesied and kills Cersei?
Well, I think if Jaime doesn't kill Cersei, like the Valonqar theory, then I believe the Bookmaniacs was right. I think that Arya will take Jaime's face. She will walk into King's Landing. And her sister will be like, rah, rah, whatever. And, she's going to have 2 hands to be able to choke her, because, I mean, that's what I think that would be poetic justice too, because Arya would get to strike a name off her list. Probably one of the ones Cersei, I think, was always near the top of the list. And she's been at the top of the list for a long time now since Joffrey's been dead. So, because I think Joffrey was the first one for a long time, but it's definitely been Cersei for quite some time. And I want to see her kill her. I want to see her get that name on that list because I think she's really the only one left. The Mountain, but I really expect the Hound to kill the Mountain.
I do. And I like that they brought up the list.
Yeah. Wasn't she on your list? Wasn't he on your list? It's funny how, they brought that up though, but they had to because he was on her list and she can't just sit there and have a drink with him after he was on her list if they don't address it. Yeah. So I'm glad that they didn't just ignore it. And they actually talked about it. Looks like we've got a viewer. Thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you can want to comment in the chat, ask us a question. We'd be happy to hear what you have to say. If not, thanks for watching as well. So I move forward. I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, Quaithe. Did you do something? Okay. So I'm moving forward into Pod. And I really liked seeing that Pod had gained some skill, right? And he looks older. Is it me or does he look older?
Oh yeah, they've all looked older, and that's something that my husband noticed when we started watching the show, and Jamie especially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, you can tell how long the show's been on the air.
Oh yeah, I mean he looks a lot older. I mean, well,
Everybody.
yeah, Jamie's got all the gray in his beard too.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
but I think just from last season to this season, maybe it's the hair growth. I don't know, but he just looks older to me. He looks more mature. He looks like it was good to see him sparring with someone else and he was teaching them, you know?
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
I liked that.
And we also have to remember they film early in the morning or late in the night. I mean, their eyes are still puffy, not waking up all the way. They're, you know what I'm saying? So watching them act and seeing all this wear and tear on them, you can tell they're really working really hard. And the weather's really cold. It's no lie.
So we got a comment in the chat. It's from Rod Dammit. Thank you for putting a message here. He says, "Hello, my dear," and then he says, "Hey, ladies, best episode ever?" ? It's great seeing Pod turn into a man and make Brienne proud. I agree, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
It was really good to see that. I hope he doesn't die next episode.
Yes, he did deserve a full cup of wine.
He did deserve a full cup of wine. You know, he did. I'm sure they didn't prevent him from continuing to drink as they all sat there and drank. So Brienne, I was expecting Brienne to take a different reaction to Jamie. She seemed kind of a little bit curt with him in that scene. Like, yeah, sure, you can fight with me, but you know, and then walked away.
I don't see that she's in love with him, and I don't see that he's in love with her. I see them being respectful to each other as fellow knights, as she should be, and he knows that. And that's what I think that's what this whole episode was about, is him having a change of heart, showing his heart and who he is, and the man he always should have been.
Right, the man that he was inside. He even repeated Brienne's words when he was standing in front of, Sansa, Dany, and Jon. I think Rod responded again. He says, maybe the first time I see Bran smile, and made me happy. She had a big smile when she was knighted.
Yeah, she was in shock, and then she started kind of smiling and crying. I was like crying with.
I was crying too. I think we said that earlier. We were just crying. I was crying when Brienne was knighted. I think that's the one that really got me. I was tearing up over some of the things that were happening, building up to that. But that was the moment when I dropped the tears.
I think this was the most important part of the show. It was Lannister, her, and not too much Starks, a little bit, but I liked it.
It was more about the other, all the other characters, and I think they needed to give. Again, it's like that fear of who's going to die after this. Who's going to die in the next episode, and how many of these characters are we about to lose? Because
and I'm liking seeing Dany lose her mind. I'm liking her being in her father and brother's footsteps. I like to see that. Seeing that Targaryen trait coming out in her. I think it's awesome.
I love Dany. She's my favorite character. I know she's not your favorite character, but she's definitely my favorite character. And I don't want to see her go mad. I want to see her, come around and be
someone's got to get the knife to the heart.
I know someone's got to get the knife in the heart, right? Yeah. That's that whole theory that comes from Nisa, right? So that someone's got to take a knife in the heart. So, or something's going to happen with somebody's heart. I think we've concluded that. So Rod says, loved them all sitting in the room drinking. Brienne was taking no, she's talking about they were sitting around the room drinking, and Brienne was taken back. She didn't know how to proceed. Lead Jamie after all the cruel jabs and fighting. After so many times as he jabbed at her all the time, and he didn't do that this time. She'll accept him.
Tyrion called it out. Here we all are. We all, fought, against the Starks before, and here we all together. He called it out, but I mean, let's talk about the weirdest thing of that conversation they had. What's up with the milk and being fed by the tent of a giant? I mean,
he's always, if you go back and you look in the series, he's always talking about something crazy, like he fucked a bear, and it just, the things he comes up with. I think that's the wildling in him, that he just has no couth.
I know he does not, and I was waiting for the joke to come on. I was waiting for the ending for Tyrion to tell the end of the joke.
All right, they're all sitting around. Can we get the end of the joke? Right? Oh my gosh, that would have been the perfect time. I've got a joke for you. You know,
I know. I was like, he said, "Someone sing a song." I said, "Here we go. He's going to tell the.
He's going to tell a joke. He's going to tell the joke."
Yeah.
I was hoping for that too. So
right.
So the next thing that comes on, he messaged killed a giant at 10. That's right. He said that he killed a giant at 10. That's why actually I think it was Giantsbane, I believe is what his nickname is. Yes. And that is true. His name really is that part was true. So he actually took a truth and made a funny out of it. So yeah, he did. That was just silly. That was really silly. But anyway, so I really liked the Jorah moment with Danny. I really liked him.
He's so handsome. I like the way they cleaned him up. And oh, come on now, they dressed him up so sharp.
Yes, the fact that he came in, and I like the fact that he, knowing that he would be the next hand of the queen, that he actually defended Tyrion. You know, and I think
and Sansa.
And Sansa, and he's the one that got her to go talk to Sansa, and she respects him so much, so she obviously listened to him.
Yeah, that's her Sam.
Yeah, that's her Sam. Yeah, that's her Sam. I was wondering if she was talking about him when she was talking to Sansa, if she was saying he was much taller. She was saying, who was that? And I don't know if she was talking about. Well, she didn't always trust Jorah. She probably does now.
No, the taller was her husband.
No, I would think it was the guy she was sleeping with.
No, because she said I've been in love with. In love. She's talking about, what's his name? Drogo?
Oh, she's talking about Drogo.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to watch that part again.
There's only two men that I love. The first man,
Okay.
And she said someone was larger, taller. Yeah, taller. Of course. She's opposite of the spectrum here. Yeah.
Rod agrees with us. He said it would have been a perfect time for the jackass joke and the jackass on the honeycomb joke. He says that that Jorah Mormont was beautiful, and he says, Jorah Mormont was beautiful, and he says that she was talking about Drogo, so he was saying the same thing. She was talking about Drogo, and big bastard that he was. The big bastard that he was. The big bastard that he was, Aquaman. So I was happy to see Jorah and Dany have a little moment, and that Jorah was actually defending Tyrion and making her realize that, look, he may have made some mistakes because he's not good at war. That's not his strength. He didn't become the hand of the queen because he had good war tactics. He became the hand of the queen because he's smart. He's intelligent. And he has something to offer, and I'm glad that Jorah reminded her of that. So that was good. That was really good. Aquaman, Drogon, Daddy, haha. Dragon Daddy, that's right. Aquaman, Dragon Daddy. Yes. So I'm waiting for that scene. I had paused it, so I'm waiting for that scene to finish out. What's after that one? Do you remember? Or do you
had
me?
You on, because I've been pausing a lot.
I have been pausing a lot too, as when we are in each area. I
paused on an interesting part of when Jamie and Tyrion are walking, and he's talking about trusting his sister, and he said something. Tyrion stopped and said, "You always, you
loved her anyway. You knew how she was, but you loved her anyway. So it was good to hear them be able to talk about it and it not be like,
I trust you, but I don't fully trust you because I know she still has your ear.
You still love her. Yeah. You still love her. You can't help that you still love her.
Oh, the main thing. Him confirming the pregnancy. Oh
yes,
my God.
He did. He did confirm the pregnancy, but remember, she told him she was pregnant. So really, that's not really a confirmation, honestly.
It's not, because she's lied so many times.
Yes. And so she could have made up. I don't know. I believe that Cersei is pregnant too, but there have been some theories out there that she's been lying the whole time. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I've always thought she's pregnant. I've always thought she's going to lose the baby, just because you know, Maggie the Frog told her she was only on 3 children. So,
well, if she wants to get safety from away from the White Walkers, then she's going to have to go where the White Walkers can't go.
mm-hmm.
And Yura already put that out there.
Yep, he did. It's like if they come over here, we'll all just go to the Iron Islands, and they probably figure that's what they'll do. You know, I don't know how they're going to think they're going to survive on the Iron Islands. There's nothing there. There's no vegetation. What are they going to eat? You know what I mean? They can't even go to Westeros. It's going to be just taken over, right? It's just crazy, yeah.
And then there was the Easter egg about I'm going to put a baby in that belly, and she kind of had that look.
Right.
There is a baby in her belly. She's going to pass it off as his, so she can get that protection.
Oh yeah, totally. I totally agree with you on that. I think she's totally going to try to pass that off to Euron as his baby. So we have another watcher who made a comment, and he says, it's Harry Crab. Thank you, Harry, for joining us. He says the Night King is going to King's Landing and has only sent some of his forces to Winterfell as a distraction 100%. The Night King is going to King's Landing. Some people think that. Some people think that the Night King himself is going to actually fly to King's Landing on Drogon, on Viserion, while only part of the army is going to be in Winterfell. So
we talked about that earlier today. Does he want a queen? Is he really going for Cersei? Yeah,
I know that's one of your big theories, is that you believe that the Night King wants a queen, you know, and that he might turn Cersei into the Night Queen, right? Yeah, that's one of the big ones. One of the big ones there, definitely. I don't know that I believe that theory, but you know, hey.
Because I'm a big fan of her, and
I know.
See her dying.
Yes.
I see her dying, but I see her coming back. Can you imagine her, queen, an ice queen? Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rod agrees. Rod agrees that's definitely possible. You know, a fake out, basically. Yeah. I think anything is possible. I think when people say things, I'm like, you know what? Anything's possible. I could believe it. You know, it's the things that have happened in the show. I can believe it. You know, they're going to do anything they can to shock us. So they're going to do anything they can. So what did you think about the way the conversation ended between Sansa and Dany? That's where I'm at. I'm in the Sansa Dany part of the show right now.
Oh, what about the North?
Yeah, when she was like, what about the North? And I really liked the direction their conversation was going.
I'm telling you.
Until that part?
No. God, the conversation was, I'm using you, you're using me. It's fake. It's girls being fake. It's mean girls, you know. They're not sincere.
Yeah, you know a lot more about psychology than I do, and how those little things can play out, and how what they really mean. So why don't you tell us what you think about all that?
Yeah, she really held herself back. She really was, when she was saying, and your brother's the one that came, and I'm fighting for him. Sansa's like, okay, this lady's really kind of stupid. She really wanted, and she was like, you know what? I should have thanked you for that. And she leaned in. They're using each other. That was all girls being fake, and then their true colors came out, because the main part of what they really should be talking about is that what's
going to happen to the North.
What's going to happen to the North? That's exactly what she says, because we swore we weren't going to bend any. And you know what? This is where Dany's true colors are coming in. This is what I'm saying. They're changing. She's not going to give up power. She's not going to give up anything. You know, she wants what she wants, and she's going to do what she's going to do to get it.
So Rod commented, and he said, but what about the North, right? That's what she said, but what about the North? She'll change her tune after finding out that Jon is the real king. Jon will change the whole game. So I think we had said something earlier about the fact that we thought that there might end up being a fight between Jon and Dany at the end, and then we might actually have a Dance of Dragons, right? Because Scripps was watching our live stream before the episode, and he had asked that question, you know, do you think there's going to be a Dance of Dragons at the end? And my son-in-law said, yeah, he thought so.
Yes.
He thought so. History repeats, right? History repeats.
I mean, even the preview, you can see that they're still kind of going at it. Jon and Dany.
Right. I think it's very possible. So right after that is when Theon shows up with his men, right, to come help fight for Winterfell.
Oh,
And
yeah, I love that.
I loved that. I think that was when I first started tearing up. Was when was this reunion, right? Because we still had more reunions. So many reunions.
Everyone's throwing these daggers at Dany because her true freaking colors are going to come out. I'm loving it. She's going to, and Sam is like, his point being proven what he said to John.
Right. Yeah. That is she really going to give up her? Is she going to give up her crown for you? Is she gonna be the kind of leader you would be? Because that's the truth, you know. And we'll get to that. We'll wait till we get to that with the whole John and Dany conversation in the crypts. So Theon, talking about Theon. I loved it. I just loved it.
I think Dany, I don't know if she knows the history. I think she needs to know why, what's going on. That's the thing, that they have history with the Starks. A lot of these characters do have history with the Starks, and that was told at the sitting around the fire.
Sitting around the fire, yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's true. Everybody has some kind of history with the Starks. Now, he was raised with the Starks. It makes sense. Okay, that's showing her ignorance. She needs to know everything about her enemies. Who said that? Littlefinger. Sansa's the one that's taking that advice. You have to know everybody, everything.
Yeah.
You have to know what they're going to do before they do it.
Everybody's your friend. Everybody's your enemy.
Everyone's your enemy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, map it out. And so they have that history. Of course he's going to come back and fight for that family. Of course he is. And Dany was like, what the heck? What? Her face was like, she should know that information. You know?
Yeah. We just picked up another viewer, and it's Richard. Richard, he's been a subscriber of mine for quite some time. He said that this was a great episode. I think we all really liked this episode. I think they were still more reunions. There was still more coming together and getting ready for this battle, and people figuring out how are they really going to be able to fight together. So yeah, I think I hope that's what's next, is when they go to sit down. I don't remember what's after this. Those of you who don't know, we are both kind of watching the episode and letting it play as we're talking about it, so we can kind of do a good recap, since we've only watched it once before we started going live here. We will definitely watch it again. So So I think I'm at Grant. I think I'm still in the same one. I noticed also there was a lot of repeat words. It was Tyrion. He said something like, he repeated the same thing, the way he wanted to die. Remember?
Yeah.
He repeated that. That was a repeat right there. He said, and Jamie helped him finish the sentence, right? And I noticed that in more than one scene, that they actually gave us that a couple of times, right?
And I think a lot of this is not really saying. I think it's saying a nod to all of us, saying bye. We're saying bye to their character, reminding us about the beginnings of all their personalities and how they grew and where they are. I think it's just a nod to us. This is the end of the show, and pulling at our heartstrings, if you will.
Yes. Yeah, because they know it's the end, right? And So the next episode actually had the one where Davos is feeding the crowd, and the little girl walks up with the scar on her face.
Oh, yeah.
That you would like. You could saw both Gilly and Davos were both like looking at each other, like it's like reminded them, right, of Princess Shireen.
Of Shireen,
Princess Shireen with her scar on her face from the grayscale.
Grayscale.
Yes. It seems like he
froze up a little bit, and she came in and saved him because he froze up. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So Rod just sent another message. He says, just saw the part where Jamie made Brianna knight. Cried so hard. Big old tough guy that I am. But hearing them call her a knight of the Seven Kingdoms fucking works, waterworks, ladies. I 100%. That was the part that got me.
Yeah. Yep. I hope this is not the goodbye to her. And that's why they gave her this big scene.
I'm afraid for Brienne. I'm afraid for Jamie. I'm afraid for Pod, just because they gave him some, singing part.
Yeah.
I'm afraid for him. I'm afraid for Davos, because Davos has survived so much at this point that we have to start losing characters, people. I mean, we've got to. There's a big talk out there that we're going to lose half of them next episode. Half.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at the part also where Davos is feeding feeding them, and I'm looking here. Is this her name? Tilly? What is her name?
Gilly.
Gilly. Is she pregnant? Or
you know what? We said the same thing. Me and my daughter, I was like, she looks pregnant to me. She looks pregnant to me too. So she's not pregnant in the show. She's pregnant in real life.
I know. We said the same thing. Her face, everything.
There's no way she gained that much weight. You can see it. She's got that pregnancy face all right here, And even the clothes she was wearing, I was trying to look and see. It was like, I think she's pregnant. She's pregnant.
They're trying to hide it.
Yeah, she's either pregnant with Sam's or she's pregnant, period. So, Pod, Mary, he's going to live, my dear. Oh, Rod's saying Pod's not going to die. And he's also saying that Davos is the father. It is known. I like that. That was good. That was a good one. I like that, Rod. I like that. Yeah, that was cool. It is known. He's the father. He can't die. He's the father. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want any of them to die, but it's just the way it goes. We got to lose half our characters. So.
Yeah. I'm getting really frustrated with Sam. I'm at the reunion where the wildlings and the crows come in, and I'm really wanting Sam to be the brain back there and help Bran. He wants to be a soldier. He wants to be up front. I don't know. I don't want Sam to do that.
Yeah, it was kind of like, that's right. He's like Tyrion when it comes to the brains. It's like he should be, I think Jon should be the one to say, no, Sam. Like he was trying to, but Sam's pretty, and that's true though. Come on. Sam did kill the first White Walker. Sam has killed a Thin.
Yes.
I mean, he survived. He survived. Like, he wants to be, he wants to help. He wants to be in the war. And I get that. I do. And I guess if you got one reader, then I guess you're okay. Right. But, it's just, I'm with you. I wish he wouldn't. But everybody, if he did that, if he went down in the crypts, everybody would view him as a coward again.
Yeah. But I think Bran needs help. Like, Bran has all this ability. He doesn't know how to control it, even though his uncle told him, dude, you got to get it together. You're the three-eyed raven now. I just don't think, I think it's all too much. And I think that Sam would be the one to help him with that, with the knowledge of reading and putting
the stuff together. But I see they put that conversation, that's I think I'm about to be at, they're actually at the Knights of the Round Table. So I'm at the Knights of the Round Table, which you and I call the Knights of the Round Table. So when you get there, push pause so we can be there together. But I was gonna say about
John's speech. Come on out.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Yes, that was his golden speech, right? That we heard in the trailer. Most of it anyway was that part was, hey, we need to get on board here with us.
They don't die. They don't, I loved the way he's building this up, and telling everybody. Sansa looks bored though.
Rod says that that the singer always makes it, that Mary did in Rings. That's what he meant, Mary. Okay, was that the Lord of the Rings, I bet, right? I don't know the names of the characters. I've watched all the Lord of the Rings movies, but I don't remember all their characters as well.
He was the singer.
He was the singer. So he said that he did, and George R. R. Martin does definitely, mirror and like the Lord of the Rings, and definitely just follow. So let's hope you're right. Let's hope you're right. There was something else I was going to talk about, but we haven't got there yet. Maybe I'll remember when we get there again, because my brain is going so fast with so many different characters, so many directions you can go, right?
Yeah, so we're at the Knights of the Round Table.
Right, so
John's doing the badass speech.
He's doing the plan for the war, right? He's doing the plan, right? We call that
standing next to him.
Right.
And she looks forward, because remember, she has a whole different idea on war tactics than John does.
Right.
That's always been one of their issues that they argue on.
Right. So I know that was a conversation that you and I had. I can't remember I think, oh, I know what it was. It was when I did your whole Quaithe Theories videos. You guys, if you haven't seen my videos with Quaithe Theories, I have 2 videos, and she talks about a lot of her theories, but some of them I'm sure have changed along the way. But most of them, I think you're still with those theories. And that was one of the things she talked about was there's going to be Knights of the Round Table. They're all going to be standing around. They're going to be like, come on, we got to do this. This is what we got to do. And you were saying earlier before we started the live stream that you were a little bit disappointed that Bran wasn't really like giving us more, right?
Yes. Yeah. I was like, he kind of told Jamie what he said is, that comment, how do you know there's going to be an afterwards,
Yeah, that kind of took me.
He does have the ability he does know what's going to happen. Then they get around to the Knights of the Round Table here, and he's kind of like, where am I going to be? I'm going to be here. He's kind of showing a little bit of his normal self, like he doesn't know, and he does need help.
Right.
So they're kind of pulling his character back into Bran than the Raven.
Well,
in this meeting.
I still think that, look, guys, they haven't given us hardly anything from episode 4, 5, and 6. Hardly nothing. Hardly nothing. Yeah. Maybe when they were standing in front of the fire. Okay, the fireplace, Danny and John. Yeah. That might be episode 4, I'm thinking. It's just shocking to me that that we don't know anything. And I think that I'm saying this because what you're saying is like Bran just seems kind of like he's starting to become more humanized again. But I think you're right. I don't think he has the full potential of what he can do because he hasn't learned how to control it yet. And they got to keep that a mystery so it can be the big shocker, in episode 5 or 6. You know what I mean? It's like there's something there. You've been saying maybe he's the villain. Maybe some people think he's the Night King. Some people, right? Yeah. What's going on with him? I don't believe in he's the Night King theory. I really have a hard time with that one. But I do think it's connected, definitely, and I do think that's connected.
He answers the big question of why.
Why is he after me?
All of us have been asking, and
why is he after me? Yes, and they finally gave us an answer. They finally gave. I like that they're answering our questions. Thank you, Dave and Dan, for finally answering our questions. Yeah. So, Marco Mingo is here again. Thanks, Marco Mingo. Thank you all for joining us today in the live chat. And I don't know how many are really watching. It says only 3 are watching, but obviously more are watching that because we're getting more responses. So first, Rod says there's literally like 15 post-show live streams right now, but I'd much rather be here with you, lovely ladies. You're hanging out watching Thrones. I love it. Yeah, thank you very much. We are so glad to have you here. Marco Minko says it seems like Bran is moving chess pieces.
Yeah,
you've been saying that, Quaithe. You've been saying that.
Yeah.
Yes, even Rod said it. Bran is definitely playing the 3D chess right now. You've got some crazy things to say about that, Quaithe, but you are usually on. I mean, I know you guys don't know Quaithe, but I've known her for a very long time, and she is the one that's always used to tell me, "Oh, this is what's about to happen," and then it will happen. You know what I mean? So she's really good at, and she knows a lot about psychology. So she's really good at depicting things that are going to happen that I think I never see coming. So you go ahead, Quaithe. I'll let you talk.
Well, getting back, I like that they got him in there. He's giving the information that we wanted, and I like that they have Bran being a little bit, not that they're a Raven, but a little bit of, okay, so this is plotting with them and planning with them and being in the now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I think that's interesting. Yes, he is playing chess. I haven't seen him warg yet. I want to see him do that, and I want that they does that during the war strategy. I hope he goes out there.
Yeah, like I'm sure he wants to be at the Godswood so we can see what's going on, right? First of all,
because right now we haven't gotten to his head. They haven't showed that yet. He's just been there listening, watching, and giving everybody the stare down, the Bran stare down. I think it's interesting. I want to know more. I don't know.
Rod he is talking to you here. He says, "Come with it, Quaithe. What's Bran Box 9,000 up to? Bran Bot 9,000 up to? What's he up to? What do you think? You want to tell them what your theories are around Bran?" Or or have they changed since these episodes started?
No. I mean, I think, I don't know. I have so many theories on Bran, and some of them has changed. I don't know. Bran, at first I thought he was he said he wants him to erase all of everything, the future, everything, the past, present, the world. Fine, he gets that. But what if it's also he wants Cersei, he wants the crown, he wants to be there, he wants the throne. There's so much more. I need to sit back and look over to see what's going on. I really thought that Bran was kind of being evil for a while.
Yes, she had a theory there for a while that maybe he is maybe not necessarily the Night King, but he's actually the bad guy. It's like we know that one of our good characters is going to become the threat. It's going to become the bad guy. It's like that's George R. R. Martin, right? That's what
something like
that's what he would do.
Because it happened in the Lord of the Rings. We're all like rooting for Frodo. Frodo's going to do what he's going to do it, and at the end, sorry guys, Frodo ended up being the bad guy. He wanted to keep the ring.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't happen.
Yeah, it's like you get disappointed at the end. Like, really, you went through all of this, all these people died, and you can't get rid of the ring? What the heck?
Yeah, and the one that we thought was evil, that wanted the Precious so bad he actually was the hero. He ended up being the
good guy.
So there's these twists you have to think about, and I really think that Bran is going to be a twist. I think there's a twist there. It's interesting.
Well, not everybody is all good or all evil, and we haven't really seen an evil side of him yet,
right.
so it makes sense.
About that before, and you're seeing a little bit of that. You're seeing Dany's evilness coming out. I think in episode 1 we're seeing a lot of Bran's weirdness coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Of where he has the potential to be the evil one. There's I don't know, Jamie Starks. Something's up with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be trusted.
Rod says he dies I'm sorry. I don't have my glasses on. He dies kind of got the great other vibes. Cold, calculating, and decisive. Oh, he corrected it. He does not die. Laugh out loud. He doesn't die. I think that's what he's saying. He doesn't die. Great other vibes, cold, calculating, and decisive.
Yeah.
He does not die.
I don't think he dies either.
He doesn't die. I don't see Bran dying either. I never did. I remember somebody.
No, they said the most important part, he's going to fly.
Right. When's he going to fly? I want to see him ward a dragon. I want to see him ward Viserion and take over Viserion. You think he's going to do that?
Bran can't run. Bran can't go anywhere. Bran can't. Hodo's not there to carry him.
Right.
I mean, how is he going to get away? I mean, they have to protect him, right? They have to protect him, but they can't stay there. They're going to have to flee. They're going to have to get out.
I get it now. I'm sorry. Rod said he does kind of got the great other vibes. Sorry. Cold, calculating, and decisive. That's what he meant to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Yes.
Very cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So that something's going to happen. He's either going to fly. He's going to. Now remember, if they've worked too long, they stay in that whatever they work into.
Mm-hmm.
They become that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, that's kind of what happened with the old Raven, right? He got stuck in the tree. He ended up growing into the tree, right? Because he stayed too long. That's what the thing about don't stay too long. Don't stay too long. Thank you, Mama. Yeah. You're so welcome. You're welcome. It takes me a minute, but I'll get there, right? But yes, I agree with you. I think I'm waiting to see. I'm very conflicted with Bran. They just haven't given us enough information. They haven't given us enough for us to conclude anything. I mean, unless you can. I'm someone that I would probably need to read the books as much as I have to rewatch an episode to like process it into my brain. To read it, I would have to probably read the books 100 times, and then maybe I could say, "This is what I think is going to happen." But other than that, we haven't been given enough information. I'm sure George R. R. Martin probably provides a lot more clues in his books to be able to find those answers. And but how hard would it be to find them? I mean, you'd have to be like, that's your job to read Game of Thrones. There are people out there that have that job, They do.
Yeah.
They totally do. It's their job to make sure that the storyline stays straight, and they are the knower of all things of the books. So
Yeah.
if you didn't know that, those guys do exist, and they're actually directing episodes now, or not directing episodes, but I think they're writing. They're writing for some episodes now, one or two of those guys. So that's really cool.
That's awesome.
Hey guys, if you're watching this, please give me a thumbs up. You know, those thumbs up really do help grow my channel. And so if you can, please, you know, hit that thumbs up button for me. Thank you again for joining us and being here with us. I'm going to move forward in the episode to see what else we haven't talked about, Quaithe. Is there anything else you want to bring up yet that we haven't touched that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm watching right now their conversation in detailed, and they're saying we're not men anymore. Here they're saying. Mm-hmm. So I'm just listening and reading the details. There's going to be more details as I watch.
We're gonna find, guys. We're gonna try to do this. Maybe even every episode where we have like an hour before, and then like maybe 20-30 minutes after, we'll get in here and do it again. And each time that episode before, we're gonna have watched it over and over for a week, and Quaithe and I will be talking about it, and we're gonna have more stuff to share with you. So if you can tune in before the next episode, I'm sure we're gonna see a ton more things to talk about. You can always message me on any of my videos if you haven't checked them out, and ask questions, or hey, on your next video or your next live stream, can you talk about this, or can you address that? We'd be happy to answer questions. If you want us to, you know, to address them, even if you can't join the chat. I know some of you may watch the live stream later. So yeah. Rod also says, as intended, keep us guessing. It's the whole point. Preston Jacobs, and at Alt Shift. Oh, he's talking about someone else making a living doing this stuff. Yeah, he's talking about us making a living doing this stuff. You know, it's definitely, this is definitely the way. This is something that I've had my eyes opened up to. That this is a new wave of watching TV, and it's usually the kids that watch YouTube right now. Mostly, it's mostly the kid. That's why it's a lot of kid driven. But you see us adults, there are more and more people are really starting to get into YouTube, and that's why I'm really trying to grow this channel. I'm really trying to progress with it, because I do have my own company, and I'm successful. But you know, you got to have your eggs in different baskets, and I'm excited about it. I love talking about Game of Thrones. I think we all love talking about Game of Thrones, and so we invite your conversation, we invite your challenges, we invite your questions, we invite you telling us that we're wrong. You know, we like that. We do. So as intended, so this is the same one. Sorry, I was reading the same one. So the big kiss. And it really kind of saddens me with Grey Worm telling Missandei he was gonna take her to Noth, take her home to Noth, and they were gonna protect her. I'm sorry, this is not no fairy tale. I mean, I've been expecting Grey Worm to die. I think they showed him too many times in the trailer. Big kisses in any show to me usually means death. I remember telling my daughter that. We were watching some other series, and she was saying, oh, they're in love. And I was like, baby, they just had a big kiss. They're about to die. Someone's gonna die. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I've been watching it here, and I paused it on when everyone leaves, and Rand's there, and Tyrion says, do you need any help? Can I help you with something here? And he sits down, pulls the chair up, and says, let's talk, you know, let's tell me your story. And that was it. I want to be a fly on that wall. What do you suppose Bran told him? What did they talk about? Does anybody have any guesses? Please share that.
That's a good question. That's a really good. Yeah, I wanted to know what that conversation was about. I really wanted to know what that conversation was about. Rod said something about sharing a couple places. Okay, so Rod's going to share us with some other people to get them to see if they can get it. He says that a lot of people live streaming. He also said to right click on his name, but I can't do it unless it's here on the live stream. I'll wait till he comes back and we'll see what he says. He said something about helping us grow the channel. So we'll see when he comes back. Maybe I can have some later conversation with you, Rod. If you catch this part, maybe we can talk about that, because I want to have more people on my channel. I want to visit your channel. If anybody wants to do that, please, let's do it. I'm ready. I'm totally ready to do that. I'm finally capable of doing it. And let me know how the video is going and the audio. Do you see me well? Do you hear us well? Let us know if we need some improvements there. So I'm now watching the part with Sam, Ed, and John, right, on the battlements at the top, looking over in the battlements. I couldn't think of that word earlier, the battlements. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we're seeing them. We're watching them now. They're the ones that are sitting up there talking about the Night's Watch, and our watch begins, right? Do you have any thoughts on that one?
It's them. Everybody's saying goodbye. Every scene is them saying goodbye.
Everybody's saying goodbye.
Yes.
Goodbye. We're dying.
Yeah, because honestly, they've seen this. They've seen how they're undead. They're dead. How can you defeat them?
Yeah.
So they're, and it's funny because they're saying goodbye. They're doing it now. They're showing all that.
Mm-hmm.
Are they setting us up to where we're going to be like, oh, everybody's dying, oh, they're saying goodbyes, and they can defeat them? There is a possibility. How they're going to give us a little twist.
Yeah.
And maybe they are setting it up, but I like this scene where they're all talking. Sam really wants to be the soldier. He really, he's right. He was the first one to do, kill the White Walker. Yeah, he did a lot. But I'm still going to go back to what I said. I really want him to be in there with Bran and help Bran get his thoughts together, And to also, he needs to be there with Bran so we could see, is Bran really, going the other direction?
Is he going to be evil, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he going to turn into something bad?
Yeah. Because Sam found that out about Dany. He was like, okay. He talked about it in the first episode,
Yeah, I didn't look for that in this episode. If there was any Bran and Daenerys in the same room, and he gave her some really ugly looks when she arrived in Winterfell. I mean, he was like looking at her like, I don't like you, and I want to. If I was a fighter, I'd like stab you in the heart right now. I mean, he was really. If you go back and watch episode 1 and really look at the way he was looking at her. And I didn't really, we've only watched one time around. So, when we do, I'm going to be looking for that. I'm going to be looking to see if there's any other looks there between Bran and toward Dany, or between Bran and anybody for that matter, because I still believe that even though he seems a little less clueless than we thought, I still think he is the knower of all. As he said, I know everything. I've got all of it right here in my brain. And what are we doing here? Sam's
already made his mind up about Dany. He knows with her gesture alone of what she's done to the family, and that's not his point. It's not, oh, it was my mom, my dad and my brother. That's not what he said to Jon. He told Jon, you have forgiven people. The wildlings. Can Dany do the same and step aside? Does she have that ability to do it? This was her chance to do it, and she didn't. And that was his point. It wasn't he was sad about his family, but he was more like the way she thinks.
Yeah, but I think Sam is right about that. When you really look at Jon as always, he's always been what's best for the realm, and not I have some right, and that's part of him being raised as a bastard made him humble. It made him humble. But even though he's had power now, being Lord Commander of the Night's Watch and being king in the North, he still, now I know that his reign there has probably been less than Dany's, but if you really look at them, how they've mirrored each other as far as ruling has concerned, they've been ruling both pretty equally. Now, I will say Jon was a little harsh in the beginning when he cut that guy's head off, but he cut his head off. He deserved it. That was the guy that, he didn't realize it, but that's the guy that, got his father killed, but still, I think after that, and after the ones that tried to kill him and he killed them, but for the most part, he's not one to just chop your head off. It's like, it's not like worship me or bow to me or you're going to be dead. And they started that up last season with Dany, and and I was a little bit worried about the way she was going to react with Jaime. And I even thought that beginning little trial thing they did was gonna play out through the episode more. And I was glad to see they cut that shit off, because I don't want to see that unnecessary drama. I'm glad the drama they gave us was great. It was great. They addressed everything we wanted to see, not some drawn out thing that wasn't really important.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't draw out him knowing sharing that information.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't draw that out. I'm very glad they didn't do that. How about Arya and the Hound? I'm at Arya and the Hound, sitting on the battlements.
Arya and the Hound and brothers with
Beric Dondarrion. Why is Beric Dondarrion alive? I think we're going to see it next episode. You think?
They're putting those three together.
You keep saying that they're going to be together. So if you guys haven't watched Quaithe's videos, she has the theory that I always believe that Beric is alive because he's going to give someone the kiss of life. Okay, that comes from the books. If you haven't seen that, it comes from the books. All right, and they didn't give it to Lady Stoneheart. They never brought her in, but we both, Quaithe and I, both believe that someone's going to get it. And I've always thought it was going to be Jon because I think he's going to die again and have to be risen again. But she believes it's actually going to be Arya because a hound is Arya's person, you know, right? White Quaithe, I'll let you explain. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that there's the scene where the hound is fighting with him, and he finally sees, you know, him coming back to life, sees the Lord alive, sees fire, all of that. They're teaching him. They're trying to give him a purpose. Remember, Hound took off has no purpose. No purpose. Mm-hmm. They're drawing him in. They're teaching him. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but Arya's in the same room with them, listening to the stories, listening to everything, listening to what is it Merritt has to say?
Beric.
Listening to everything. Why would they put these characters in there, listening to these stories? I really think the Hound, he's going to be past that power. I think he's going to get the sword. He might be the one to get the sword of fire. I think that he's going to be passed on to be that person and to be Arya's, you know,
the Hound,
helper, survivor.
The Hound is going to be her protector.
The last kiss of death is going to go to Arya. I really do.
You know what? The whole Arya sleeping with Gendry. Come on, I want to, before I die, I want to know what it feels like. I was like giddy. Like I never expected to see them have a romantic relationship to begin with.
Yeah, I could have watched that. To me, I see her as a little girl.
Yeah, well, you do though. You have a hard time watching people grow up and then seeing them as young ladies. She has that problem with my kids too, but they're all grown up too. So,
I was like, no, I just like no, and he's all like, oh my gosh, he doesn't know what to think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Arya said it. What are you doing here? Like telling the Hound, like what? Why?
I think though, you remember the last time she saw him was still when he was still a rugged, you know, and he still is, but he's definitely gone through we've watched him go through some major changes. Being friends with that one, you know, priest guy that he was with that saved his life, and then you know, and then seeing him change and go through all these with even the Brotherhood, you know, just he's come around a lot.
I think he's gonna get part of the Brotherhood. I think and they tell him all the time, you know, they showed him the fire. They're like, you have a purpose, you know.
Yeah.
He's seen it. So
he actually saw a vision in the fire. And you know, Quaithe, you are good at pegging that stuff. You're good at pegging it. And I could see how that the Hound could become a new who was the one that prayed over Beric? Gosh, I can't think of his name right.
I can't think of his name.
I know it's on the tip of my tongue.
His priest.
The priest that brought Beric back over and over. That the Hound witnessing
to Arya, and the Hound will end up being
her priest that will continue to repeat to bring her back. Right, and it's possible
she fulfills her destiny, which is you might be right, killing Cersei. Completing her list. Yeah.
Oh, Rod just told us some Thoros. Thank you, Marco. Thank you for telling us this Thoros of Myr. Thank you. And Rod just told me something really interesting. It says in the books it alludes to Arya dying with her needle in her hand, and the quote says, "We'll find you with a needle frozen in your hand after winter." Sounds worrisome. So that's a quote from the book. "We'll find you with a needle frozen in your hand after winter." So that would support your theory, Quaithe.
Yeah.
That would support your theory that she's the one that dies, and that the Hound and Beric gives her the kiss of life, and the Hound prays over her, and that the Hound becomes her priest, and brings her back.
I think they've been setting that up for a while. They've been setting it up.
Okay, so there's a leak out there. If you don't want to hear the leak, you might want to just put me on mute for a few minutes, and I'll go like this when I'm done. Okay, so there's another leak out there that says that we're going to lose a lot of our characters in this episode 3, but that one, I think it's like 7 main characters or something like that, but one of them is going to come back. And that's, once I heard that leak, it was like, okay, it's got to be Beric on there and bringing them back. So that kind of supported it. One of
them's going to come back as the dad, or one of them's
come back to life. Be brought back to life. So that's kind of supporting yours and I theory that it's going to be Beric that's going to pass pass on his last life to someone else before he dies, right?
Yeah.
So, but Rod says also from book one, after she is so bad at the ladylike needlework. Oh, that's from book 1. He's saying that came from book 1.
Yes.
Which they say, they've been saying that you can find all the answers to the series from the first for the first season. You can find all they've been saying you can find all the answers that are going to play out in the very first season. And that would be the very first book, right? That would be the very first book. Yeah. So, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me, Quaithe. You've said things before that I thought, no, that's not going to happen. And then you're right. So we'll see. We shall see. It'll be
getting exciting. It's getting close.
It's getting exciting. I think the battle, if those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you who are watching probably know that they spent like 50 nights filming this battle, and it's going to be huge. And the whole episode, usually they have a little bit of drama or something before they have a battle, but not this one. It's going to be the whole episode, and it's going to be big. And they're going to show us the point of view of, different groupings. And I think you're right, Quaithe. I think you're going to have like the Hound with Beric and Arya and maybe Gendry, maybe not Gendry, maybe, in a different area. But then you're going to have Brienne with Jaime and probably Sansa, because she's going to protect Sansa first, right? You're going to have the Greyjoys who are going to be in the Godswood with Bran. You're going to have, I don't know if they're going to come out right away, but you're definitely going to have Jon and Dany on dragon. They didn't put Jon on a dragon before this battle, so he can't. So they did that so he could ride a dragon during this battle.
Yeah.
So he's definitely going to get on the dragon. They even said at that little meeting, that the Knights of the Round Table were like, what about Dragonfire? Does that kill him? We're going to find out that Dragonfire is not going to kill him. I don't think so. Matter of fact, they should have known that, because in episode where they went north of the wall in last season, and that was Dragonfire on the floor, on the ground, and the Night's King walked right through it. He walked right through it. So Dragonfire is not going to kill the Night King, and they should have known that from being north of the wall and the Night King walking. They probably just didn't notice him walking through it, because they didn't even know that he threw the dagger at the dragon until the dragon was falling. Nobody noticed that that was happening. So they didn't see him walk through the fire like we did. So we already know that's just not going to work. They're going to try to burn him, and then probably Jon's going to land, jump off his dragon. I saw that preview. And one of those previews, there was a tree behind him. He's pulling out his sword. There's fire in the background. They're in the Godswood. I'm put money on that. They are in the Godswood, and Jon is pulling out his sword to fight the Night King. That's what I think. That's
awesome.
I think that's what's going to happen. You can see him twice. You see him once with fire behind him, but I think that's when he's out in the battle, And then the second time, it looks too white, too much snow, too much. There's the tree in the background. I wouldn't be surprised if the tree got burned, the Winterfell tree, which would be just devastating. But I could see it happening, So
that would be really
yes. Marco Miko, thanks again for joining us. He says the Night King might be a Valyrian. I've been hearing that theory. My daughter mentioned that's been out there because of the whole dragon thing. Okay, so Indeed Geep, I think it was Indeed Geep, or maybe The Last Harpy. I can't remember. One of them did a video about that talk about the dragon, the 3 heads of the dragon symbol, the Targaryen sigil looking like the spiral. So I'm gonna explain that a little bit. The Targaryens did not exist when they were not part of the first men. Okay, they were not part of the first men. All right, they were in Valyria. They were never even over here in Westeros, right? And if they existed at the same time, which I think they did, but it's just not there. But when Aegon came over here, those symbols were all there under before they arrived. So when Aegon made a sigil for his house, and, living on Dragonstone, he had seen those symbols. I would bet that he had seen the cave, and he had seen the dragon glass, and he had seen the symbols, and he probably used that as a mock-up for creating his sigil. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, these are symbols that these people over here are ancient symbols. They're going to react to it, which would be true. We would react to something that's ancient, So that's the theory of where that came from. I mean, at this point, I think the Night King could be any house, but it always tends to lead back to Stark. There's just a lot of history around being Stark. But hey, Marco, if I'm wrong, if you have something to offer that maybe we need to know, let me know, and I'll be happy to say it right here on the chat what your thoughts are on that. We want to hear if you have more to add to is he Valyrian and why you think he might be Valyrian, other than just the sigil. I think that's something that people have just been saying on social media, and because it mocks the spiral kind of thing. But that spiral is ancient for, before Targaryen. That it comes back much further. So Rod says he's probably going to have to be made to concede. I'm sorry. He's probably going to have to be made to concede. He wants to rid himself of the curse. Maybe only Bran can do that. Someone's going to have to take his place. Classic Jon move, sacrifice for mankind. I have seen that theory where that the Night King can actually not be defeated, and that someone has to actually. Oh, I forgot earlier. We stopped talking about the leak a long time ago. I'm so sorry if I forgot to let you guys know. But that there is a theory about that. There is a theory that that the Night King cannot be destroyed, and that you can take the dragon glass out of him, but it's going to have to go into someone else or something like that. It has to be passed on, and that Jon would be he would be the one to sacrifice himself. And I could see that. I could see that being a theory. Absolutely.
Yeah, and getting back to that theory, I'm still baffled by them doing that to Uncle Benjen.
Yeah, we still go back to that. I've been saying this.
It's a conversation him and Bran had. And he says, how? He says, you saw it in your vision. He goes, a dragon glass through your heart.
Dragon House, you saw in the S. So the same way, so we've had this conversation, right? For me, it was 3 elements. There's the 3 elements that's going to lead us to the end game, right? There's Hodor and the fact that Bran can say past, present, and future. And there's this exactly thing, that, sorry, I lost my train of thought. What is the last thing you just said?
I was talking about the dragon glass too.
The dragon glass in the heart. Something that has to do with the dragon glass in the heart, or something that has to do with the heart, or sacrifice of the heart. There's a lot going around there. So we know there's something that's got to have to do with the heart, and something that has to do with dragon.
I think it's their desire.
But because of Benjen, right? Benjen showed us. He showed us that there was something different about him receiving dragon glass in the heart, being dead, and brought back as a good person.
And he wasn't fully dead.
Right. He was dying. I think he was dying, right? He didn't actually die.
He was dying, and they stopped him.
And they stopped him from dying by putting the dragon glass in his heart. And somehow he became good, and the Night King became bad. So
I really think it's what your heart desires.
Your pure heart.
All biblical,
What's really inside of your heart. You're going to become that to its full extent when you leave this world, right? Are you going to go to heaven, or are you going to go to hell? Which way are you going? Because you're not going to be in between, all right?
What's your evil desire? What's your secret evil desire?
Right.
What you want.
Are you truly, which way are you? Which way are you really more?
Back to what you were talking about. So was that guy a Valyrian soldier? I mean, who was he? What's his backstory?
Right. Is he, and I don't think they're going to really give us that, guys. I don't think so. That's all coming in the prequel. They're setting us up for the prequel. You know that, right? They're setting us up.
Uncle Benjen was was a Stark, you know.
Mm-hmm. So
we knew he was a Stark, and he was he on borrowed time? Was it slow? Was he eventually going to die? I mean, or because was he still decaying? I mean, I don't know. I have to go back and watch that. But yeah, he was helping out. So is there two groups of kids that are making different, White Walkers, or there's one group, the Republicans, and the other side, the Democrats? I mean, all this is political and everything,
Biblical and political. That's what it comes down to, right?
Everything, yeah. So, is it the same kids that did this? Yeah, I think that's true, that they're going to take, in order to undo what was done, they have to take the glass out. But do they really have to take the glass out, or can they just create more people with good hearts? Getting back to Danny stabbing Danny in the heart, or vice versa. And if Danny gets stabbed in the heart, I think what she wants is power.
Yeah, because unfortunately she's become a little power hungry. That's she forgot what it was like to be a slave and to force people to do something. They should follow you because they love you, not because you're forcing them to do something. That's not a true leader. So
no.
Rod says Azor Ahai was a Targaryen and is the Night King. He ended the last long night, much as Jon will have to sacrifice himself to end the long night. I absolutely think that Jon's going to die, sacrificing himself to end the long night. I've said that many times. Jon and Danny are not going to both live. He's going to have to sacrifice himself, and I think we both agree that Danny's going to die in childbirth. It's just a poetic ending. I think that we both foresee. We could totally be wrong, but that's what we foresee. Then Rod also says, I think Benjen not being wholly bad lets us believe that there's a chance that Jon could be quite malevolent while being an undead white. Could he still be undead and want to save the living? You got some stuff about him being well, go ahead. You answer that one. Go for it.
Yeah, I did talk about that. That's getting back to what we're talking about. It's the pure in heart. Jon has that versus Danny not having that. Mm-hmm. He was raised by Ned Stark. Ned was all about doing the right thing. They remind me more of the Christianity family, the right and the wrong, mm-hmm. and making the right decisions. So, yeah, I do believe that Jon will be the pure of heart, and he will do that to someone. The army is too big to defeat. It's too big. You have mm-hmm. to have the equal balance of fighters, of warriors, So I really thought that the children of the forest were going to grab Jaime and make him one of the good White Walkers, because he has a good heart, and that's something no one expects.
Yeah, that's right. You might want to explain. That's in one of her. Again, we've got a couple of videos with Quaithe theories.
Yeah.
If you haven't checked them out, you might want to check them out. She narrates most of it. I do a little narrating, but a lot of it's her voice. And it explains that. Quaithe explained, you explained that you think that Jaime might actually be take that role. Go ahead.
I really thought so. I didn't think he was going to make it all the way through. I thought his journey he was going to be captured, and I figured something like that was going to happen with him. And I don't know, but there's got something like that has to happen. Because they're telling you, they're saying their goodbyes. They're not going to be able to defeat the dead. Jon said it in his speech. So you have to have a bigger army to fight this army. Mm-hmm. I think that's something there. I think that maybe they're going to figure that out. Maybe Jon's going to get stabbed in the heart, and he's going to go around with dragonglass making his own army, stabbing people in the heart.
Oh gosh.
And
don't say that. You're scaring me right now.
I mean, no, I'm just
don't make Jon the villain.
His army, making his White Walker. Maybe that's what the big twist was. It's White Walker against White Walker. I mean, I don't know.
You had said that though, is that
how do you defeat this army? I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, people probably know more than I do that read the books, but I mean, that's the only way I could think of how you would you would do it. You know, why would they put that little thing about Uncle Benjamin? I mean, why would they even do that?
Right. It's got to have meaning, right? It's got to have meaning.
Yeah.
There's got to be something there that they haven't told us.
That was a very important conversation he was having with Bran.
Yes. Yes. That, you know, that you're going to have good White Walker Jamie against bad White Walker Cersei, you know, because she's the new Night's Queen, and they're gonna, you know, they're gonna fight it out. So Rod just said something that made my eyes go big. I'm sure you saw it, Rod. I was actually reading your message. He says, "Will Dany and Jon's baby be the first Craster like sacrifice to the new Night's King, which is Jon, and Jon could raise his own child on the frozen side?" Love this tinfoil stuff. Oh my gosh. She would love that. She would love that, right? Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Don't say that, Rod. You're scaring me.
No,
I like the happy ending, but I know we're not going to get.
Think about that. Think about it. I mean, how are you going to? There's no ending to this war.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a really, really good one. I mean, he has to sacrifice himself. He becomes the new Night King. He takes the baby as the first sacrifice. I mean,
I said that before. I said he's going to. Guys, he is on borrowed time.
Yeah, you've been saying it. You've been saying it and saying it. I don't know, for like, I don't know, 2 years. He's on borrowed time. He doesn't.
He is. There's no red woman around to redo what she's done, you know, to pray over him, whatever, you know? Mm-hmm. Where is she? What's he going to do with this borrowed time?
Right.
Why did the so-called Fire of Light chose him to come back, you know?
What's his role? What's his place? What's his end game? Why is he so important?
This is a good theory, what he said.
Yeah,
you know?
it is. It's a good one, Rod.
It all ties along with what I was saying. There's got to be a bigger army to fight this big army.
Yeah.
Give Jon the power, man. Give it to him. I mean, shoot. Put a dragon glass in his heart. You
know what? That's a good one. That they put that dragon glass in his heart.
He's so decisive about things. You know, he's another one that's never been my big character either. I'm not really a big Jon or Dany fan, but you know. So I mean, I love that. That's
I like it too. I want to know how they're going to find out this information. I mean, I know they got Bran and all, you know, but I don't know. I mean, last season I was real disappointed that they didn't give us the turning of Harrenhal. They didn't give us anything of Robert's Rebellion really, other than the marriage of Lyanna and Rhaegar, which was great, but I wanted more flashbacks. I wanted more history. I wanted more of that. And I think in this series, I want to see the Owl Faces. I want to see that. I want them to go to the Riverlands. Let's hope that the map changes. If you guys missed that from the beginning of the live stream, you can go back and watch that. We talked about the map up front and the little bit of changes that we saw. And I think that we're going to continue to see the map change. And let's hope we go to the Riverlands. I'm going to be jumping out of my seat if I see that in the map.
You know, you should tell the symbols. These White Walkers are doing this. They're talking to you. They're leaving the messages and clues. I mean, someone's got to decipher that.
Yeah.
You know,
someone's got to say, what are these symbols about? Wait a minute. Yes. They've been leaving symbols? What are these symbols? Look, I've said it, and I've said it over and over.
Talking to him all this time. I mean, come on. This is where Sam needs to freaking get off the wall, get his ass back in the books, you know.
And tell us what these symbols. And somebody, they're all together. They need to tell each other, hey, you know, they used to lead this. Who was there? Tormund was there. Tormund was there. Now, the first symbol they left, I don't know. That was the guy that they chopped his head off in episode 1. So I don't know if anybody really saw that symbol.
Dany had a lot of information though. When she was in there with Jon, yeah, they were talking about it. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you know in the very first episode they had that circle, right, with the lines coming through it, right? Okay, that's the very first episode opening scene. Okay, and they mount the child on the wall again. They mounted. Little Ned Umber on the wall again. Okay.
Yeah.
And to me, that is, if you look, I actually spent like 2-3 weeks looking at symbols from all the different cultures to see what they meant when I did if you haven't seen my cave symbols video, you can check it out. I've talked about that a lot, and that symbol means earth. It means ground, earth, dirt. That's what it means. And if you look at that scene again, there's faces mounted around it, all the way around it. Come on. Owl of Faces. Come on, really? Children, children of the Forest. Children mounted on the wall. Come on. That's what I see. That's what I see. So, Rod says they're gonna need a new pack because there was a pack the first time around. They need a sacrifice. That was my third element. I was talking about 3 elements earlier.
We did talk about that.
That was my third element. It's got to be blood sacrifice. Obviously, John's blood's important. There's got to be the whole past, present, and future with Bran, and then there's got to, with Hodor, right, and the way that's effective, and then there's got to be the Benjen Stark thing, dragon glass in the heart. Those are the 3 elements. That's what's gonna be the end game, right? So he says there's got to be a sacrifice. I agree. The Song of Ice and Fire is the end all be all, and the child, if Jon and Dany could be the prince that was promised, could end the long night. So it's the actual child that's the prince that's promised, right? And I think that's what he's trying to say. Yeah. Marco Miko says, the big woman's still here. Oh, the big woman's still here. I loved that part. I was really wanting some Brienne and Tormund scenes, and so I was very, very pleased to have that.
I do too.
Very pleased. I was very pleased to have that. We didn't talk about that one yet. And then Rod says, it's a war that can't be won, right? It's a war that you've been saying that. You've been saying it. They all seem to agree they're going to die. They all seem to agree. They sure do. They're all going to die. They'll be forced to make a pact for the survival of mankind. Sacrifices will be made. I think you're right. I don't think they're going to be able to just defeat them and kill them. You're right. I agree.
No, they're not.
They're not. It's gonna be something more than that, and they're gonna have to find out about the pact. They're gonna have to find out about the first pact. How are they gonna find that out? Where's Howland Reed? I need to see some Howland Reed.
Yeah.
Give me some Howland Reed.
Let's get to the end of the show and the lineup.
Yeah, let's do that. I see you got a.
How many did we see? How many? There were 13. 13 that we counted of the White Walker.
That was when he had carried the baby. There were 13, but they've killed some since then. They've killed some people since. You mean the White Walkers, right?
Yes. So when they're lined up on their horses, there's more than 13.
There was when I counted them. You mean in this episode there was 8? Yes. I'm sorry, I'm being loud.
No,
I'm live streaming. Oh, I'm live streaming.
Oh, ew.
If you don't want to be in the live stream, you gotta leave. Sorry, my youngest just walked in. So I think there was about 7 or 8 of them, I believe. But I'm gonna watch it again to make sure that I didn't see more.
He's so smart. These guys that are there, they're soldiers. They have war tactics. They know what they're doing. I think they're gonna do deceiving, I think they're going to be there fighting, and he's going to be on the dragon going to go get Cersei or something. I don't know.
Somebody said that earlier in the chat, that the Night King himself is actually not going to be there, and he's the one that's actually going to be going to King's Landing instead, and he's going to divide and conquer kind of thing, which you never know. That could be the case, Yeah. It could be the case. Yeah. Just Rod we were talking about Brienne, and he said LMAO, which is, laughed my ass off. Tormund only had eyes for Brienne. He clapped so hard and made it when they made her a knight. We discussed that scene many times. I think we both cried. It was really
only because it's like the main thing of the show, guys. I mean, I think that was the big scene.
I agree.
I think there's 2 big scenes, and that was one, and the other one was down in the crypts with John's telling her.
So let's talk about that. That's pretty much other than the arrival and we were just talking about the lineup, right? Yeah. The very last thing that I think we really need to talk about that we haven't talked about is John finally telling Dany. The guys. Sam asked him up on the battlement, "Have you told anyone?" And John said no. And he was like, "So I guess you're just he's trying to like figure out what are you gonna do with that information, dude?" And he's standing here in front of Lyanna, and as honest as he is, Dany asks him, "Who is she?" He answers honestly, "She's Lyanna Stark." And she's kind of like, "Okay, why are you standing in front of her?" You know what I mean? Like, you could tell she's like trying to figure out what that's about. And I love the way he told her.
But I also like that she had history as well, the same story that everyone else had.
Right. She thought the same thing. He raped
her, yeah.
They thought
family.
she actually thought the same thing. It's like, man, everybody talks about my brother like he was this great guy, and you know, he raped her, you know, and she, you know, she's totally against that. You know, she was told the Greyjoys, no more raping, reaving, and roading, right? That's it, you know.
And Dothrakians,
yeah. She does not allowing that. So, you know, I think that she, I just love the way John told her. I love how he told her the story like on third person, you know, like it was like all of a sudden, you know, I'm not this person, and then guess what, I am. And she at first had the same reaction he did. How do you know that? That's not true. Who told you? Your best friend? I mean, well, they want you to be king. You know, that's a natural reaction.
At the sources, she's looking at the sources,
yeah. But I mean, I think maybe Bran needs to touch her and take her in the past or something.
I was thinking that too.
Take Dan in the past. Let her see that shit herself.
Reality check big time to get off of her high horse. And I don't know if Bran could do that, but
I want to see that. I've been thinking that it would be so great if he could take someone else with him into and if he could. He's got to be. He's strong, right? Benjen told him he's got some power that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
And he's still learning how to control it, right? I don't think it's just that he can go in the future or in the past or even see the future, because I do think he can see. I think Bran can see possible futures.
Yeah, I don't think he's learned to control it all, because he wouldn't be asking the questions that he's, you know, going back to the conversation and the Knights of the Round Table. He would be leading. He would be like, this is what's going to happen, and this is what you need to do, you know, and he wasn't.
Right.
He's more like letting them take the lead on everything.
Yes, but I think that role will switch. I think it will as he becomes more able. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I hope Sam takes John's advice. I hope you did see him take his advice. He does go down. He is with Gilly. He is down there. He's not up on the wall anymore. But I do.
Oh, no, that was before. That we're just laying there with Sam before the arrival.
Yeah.
But I think, I totally think Sam is not going to get himself killed. I've never seen Sam be the one that was going to die. I've always expected Sam to live to the very end. I expect him to write the Song of Ice and Fire. I expect his son to be following his footsteps, going to the Citadel, because that was all foreshadowed when he went home. So I totally don't see, if Sam died, I think I would expect him to be brought back to life. You know, it's like he's not dead. He's not dying. He's one of those characters that you know, in the beginning you don't expect to live. You know, you expect him to not make it, and he does, and he perseveres. And I love Sam. He's one of my favorite characters. Definitely.
Me too.
It's one of my favorite characters. So, well, thanks guys for. I don't know how long we've been going here. I wish I could tell. Like, I can't see it. I can't tell.
Well, it's 11:10 and the show is over.
We started about 9:30. So we've been going about an hour and a half. This is my daughter. Can say hello? No. Okay. Okay, guys. Well, Quaithe, is there anything else you want to share with us?
I mean, I'm just got to look over it. I got to see.
We're going to rewatch it. I'm about to rewatch it. I'm going to rewatch it all night.
I can look at my notes. And, I mean, a lot of my theories might be like blown away or scratched off the list, but some stuff might still be the same, you know, backing it up.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah, I like that there's dragon glass. I'm looking at the soldiers now at the end, lined up. Yeah.
Rod says, daughter fire snow in the house. Daughter fire snow, right?
That's cool.
Yes.
Oh my God, look how many soldiers there is. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm so excited to rewatch it. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know, please press that thumbs up button for us, okay? And Rod, if you want to message me anywhere, it always lets me know when you message me on any of my videos. It notifies me. If for some reason I don't answer you within 24 hours, message me again, because something, maybe it was a technical thing. But I answer everybody who messages me. I answer everybody. I never not answer any of my viewers who take the time to message me. I take the time to message them back. So Rod, if you have any ideas that will help grow the channel, hey, we invite your advice. and your help. And we're eager to hear what you have to say and how you can help us grow the channel, because we're definitely going through that. I have 800 and I've increased about 28 subscribers in the last, I think, 2 weeks. So that's pretty good, because I've been pretty steady around 800, and I'm at I think 828 I think right now. So I'm trying to get up to 1,000, because if you don't know, they don't allow you to live stream anymore on your phone on YouTube unless you have 1,000 subscribers. So I'm definitely trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. If you guys will, share with other people, come check out my other videos. Give us a thumbs up when you get a chance. Come join us with live streams. We're going to continue to do these live streams every episode for the next 4 episodes, hoping that Quaithe will be able to join me each time, but I'll definitely be here as well. And we hope to see you again. Quaithe, you want to say anything? Say goodbye before we go?
Yeah, thanks for chiming in, and keep doing that. Just let us know some more of your tinfoil thinking. That's great. I love it. And watch it again over and over. Let's talk about this episode too.
Yeah, I find every time I watch it, I see something else. I see something else. I figure out something else. My husband loves Game of Thrones, but do you know he asked me why it was important that they had that whole conversation between John and Dany? I was like, really, honey? He's like, I'm sorry, who's Rhaegar again? I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to front him out here on live stream, but I'm such a fanatic that he has gotten to where he's like, it's okay if I just see it one time. You know what I mean? He doesn't. He likes the show, but he's definitely not a fanatic. And
well, I mean, it's just been on so long that if you don't watch it over and all the old
if you don't,
you forget the details, and that's what my husband does. He's like, now what did he do to her again, and what happened again? Because he doesn't have the time to go
watch it. I have a friend. She gave herself the name Snow Lover a long time ago. Actually, did a little interview with her at one time. I haven't made a video out of it, but I have quite a few interviews with other people, and she is rewatching the whole series, and she's kind of like that. She doesn't have a lot of time, and I can't be next. We can't be next to her. Remember, we were there at her house, and she was like, "Shh, guys," you and me were like, la, 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 and she's like, "Y'all stop talking because I am trying to rewatch." She's trying to rewatch it. Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I gotta leave her alone. I can't do that. Oh, we've got another subscriber that's messaging. His name is Sam Sobin. Thank you, Sam, for joining. And he says, is she answering chats on YouTube? Yeah. I mean, are you asking if I'm answering? If I answer message? If you are on my channel, I'm going to talk about you, okay? If you're going to come on my channel, you're going to hear your name, okay? And I will continue to probably say almost as long as the chat is small and I can do it, I'm going to talk about everybody's comments. So that's a good thing about catching me while I'm still small, is that you can be guaranteed that I'm going to read what's in the chat. I'm going to answer your questions. Yeah. And if you message me on any video, I'm going to respond. You're going to get a response. And if you want to know something what Quaithe thinks, you can ask in any message, and I will get the answer from her. I will get the answer from her. And if I start to get too many questions, I'll start doing videos just answering questions. I'm happy to do that. I'm sure Quaithe would be happy to do more live streams too if we feel like, you guys want that. So, he says, oh, okay, I wanted to talk about the new episode. There were so many important things to discuss. Yeah, she's so communicative, Rod is saying. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We've been on here for about an hour and a half. I think we're both really, really eager to rewatch the episode. Yeah. But if you want to ask us something, Sam, real quick, before we were just kind of wrapping up, if you want to ask us something, please go ahead, ask away, and I'll give it a few minutes. It's about a minute behind because I have to watch the chat from another place. I don't know if you guys know that. I think most people have to do that. Rod says, watch the video, bro. She's covered the whole thing. Make sure you tune in next week. We'll do it all again. We will. So if you don't know, Sam, I try to do an hour before the episode And because Quaithe and I watch the thing over and over and over, and we come up with all this new stuff. We talk about it, and we get ready for the live stream an hour before the episode. So Quaithe, if you're available next week, I definitely want to do that an hour before the episode. We'll do it again. We'll talk about this last episode, what we think is coming in the next episode. And then right after the episode, about 20, 30 minutes after, we give you guys 20, 30 minutes, break. I know there's a lot of people on live streaming. So I gave you that 20, 30 minutes, and then we're going to come on again, and we're going to talk about the last we're going to do this all over again. We play it, we watch it while we're talking about it, so we make sure we address everything. What did he say? They've been talking now. This is exciting. Sam, thanks, Rod. And he says, damn it, that's okay, Sam. Thanks for tuning in. Give us a thumbs up, okay? And and come back, come back. If there's like I said, if there's anything you want to ask, please do. There's somebody else on too. Wow, our watching is increasing. Some of the other people must have already ended their live streams, and they're like clicking over to us now.
Yeah.
Down there. Oh, that's my daughter. Okay, so she's 12. Okay, I know she's cute, but she's 12. Okay, I hope you're 12 too to be calling her cute. You need to get out the picture, girl. You're too beautiful to be in the picture. Get over there. Yeah, get off. Yeah, your daddy would be mad.
Dad would not be out.
Daddy's pretty ruthless. He used to be a mortician.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the video. I like this a lot. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for tuning in. The one major thing I was thinking. Okay, so Sam does have a question. Let's answer Sam. I'm sorry you missed most of the live stream, but we're definitely going to do that. Sam says the one major thing I was thinking about was why the heck was Samuel spared by the White Walker earlier in the series? Is this important? Good question. Wait.
Well, they don't want Sam. They want Bran, and they don't see Sam as a threat.
He's not a threat.
They don't see Sam as a threat because they don't know what Sam's ability is, which is his brain.
Yeah.
They don't know that that's Bran. That's going to be Bran's right now. And I really hope that they go lock themselves up somewhere. I don't like Bran's idea about exposing himself. Whatever, we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll be wrong, and maybe everyone's wrong about this, and Bran is actually the evil one. We'll see. I don't know what's going on.
Quaithe has had some. Listen, guys, Quaithe's got a couple of videos out there that I've done of her theories, and she's been on the kick lately that Bran might be evil, which I think is a good theory. And Quaithe has got a lot of experience with psychological psychiatrists, things like that. She's got a lot of background there, and she's always tends to be the one that knows what's about to happen. So if she says something, it makes me worry sometimes. I'm like, no, don't let that happen, But yeah, she usually is on. So and Rod backed that up. He said because Sam is the voice that brings it all to Jon. They need him. They need him. The Bran and the Night King needed Sam to be to be there for between. So Sam is like the person that goes and tells them, hey, we're really real over here, And I said that earlier. I think that Sam is gonna write the book in the end. He's gonna write the Song of Ice and Fire. That's his role. I think he's gonna live to the end. I mean, I said earlier too that if Sam were to die, like who's gonna bring him back? Because he's not dead. I feel like I have a really hard time with him being dead.
Yeah.
I to be the between. I think I got what you meant. Here's another interesting thing that Sam says. Who do you think will kill Cersei? I think that's how you spell it. Yes, you did spell Cersei's name correct.
Yeah, I really think that prophecy is going to come true.
I do believe in the Valonqar theory. I have a video on Cersei, and I have a recaps video, and I do think that Jaime kills Cersei or Arya will with Jaime's face. I'm with you, Rod, 100%. 100%.
With that hand.
Yeah. It's because the theory, I mean the prophecy is that that she would be killed by her Valonqar with the hands around her throat. I've got all of that in that Cersei video that talks about the Valonqar theory, and I think that they left that part out because they didn't want to give it away to the end. They knew that people like fanatics like us were going to watch it and watch it and watch it until we figured it out, and so they had to leave stuff out. And I think they left that out on purpose. And I think that it's either going to be Jaime's going to kill him or Jaime's going to die in this battle, and Arya's going to take his face and she's going to use it to kill Cersei. It's going to be Jaime that kills him, but is it just really going to be Jaime or is it going to be Arya?
Arya as Jaime.
Do you think that too, Quaithe? Do you think that too, or do you actually have a different theory?
I think that's a possibility. You know, I really do think it's a possibility. I'm wanting it to be Jaime. I'm wanting it for him to be the one to do it. Having the change of heart, I don't know. This whole
that's right.
Series is changing everything, you know.
Yeah, of course. You're going to start changing all of our older theories. Yeah. But I think you were saying that. I remember now. Your theory was that that the Night King will make Cersei the Night Queen, and then Jaime will become the good White Walker, like Benjen. And then Jaime, it'll be the brother against sister, the bad White Walker against the good White Walker, and it's going to be like, you know, that kind of.
They kill each other.
They kill each other and they die together because I think we all think they're going to die together, right? They came into this world together and they're going to leave this world together. That's the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
So, Sam says, I think Arya won't kill Cersei because she doesn't have a reason, right? Oh no, she's been on her list.
No,
at the top.
On the list.
She's on the list. Oh yeah, she killed her. She did. I can't remember the exact reason, but she was definitely there when Ned's head got cut off. So it would be too predictable. But Jaime, that could be him or the Mountain. I really think the Mountain's going to be killed by the Hound. I don't see the Mountain killing her.
How we are supposed to think that the mother got killed by the Mountain, or did she?
Yeah.
You know, what did they do to her? What did they do to her body? So there's going to be two mountains. There's going to be a he mountain and a she mountain. You know? I don't know. That's pretty interesting what's going on over there. What Cersei's mad scientist is cooking up in his lab.
Yeah, Mr. Qyburn, right? We didn't get one bit of Cersei this episode, did we? Not even a single thing. There's nothing to talk. We've already got all that stuff from her, unless it's a losing the baby thing. You know what I mean? Unless she's losing her baby. I think that's. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the only thing we get other than the battle next episode.
We didn't get Cersei. We didn't do Yara. The one thing that we did want to see was Ghost. We got a glimpse of Ghost. You know, and I was actually kind of disappointed in that.
Really? That's what we got? A view. Yeah. We got a view of Ghost. Well, we got to see him, right?
Well, I mean, I didn't want Ghost. I wanted Ghost to be recruiting. I want him to go.
I'm with you. I would have rather not seen him this episode. And when we saw him, it was like something really cool, you know? Like, I mean,
like he's coming, leading the pack,
bringing Nymeria and the pack. And I do believe all that. You know, you can see my predictions video. I think I talk about. I think I did a video on the trailers, and it talks, and I noticed that some other. I'm not going to take credit for that. I saw other YouTubers brought it up that the distance between their bellies and the ground was really short, and that there's definitely going to be some wolves in there. You really look. I watched it slow motion over and over, making the video, and you can see the hair coming off their, off their arms.
Like
yes, you can see them.
I think so. I think the people who have the connection with Ghost are going to be the ones to be able to talk to Ghost and let him know, hey, we need some reinforcements, which is Sam's one of them. And so I think that's something that's going to be in play either. I really hope Arya's direwolves come back too. And I hope we see some ice spiders. I hope this war is.
I want ice spiders.
All the wars we've seen. I mean, the best war I've liked was, the Dothraki coming in, all their horses. And,
that was.
Come on now, that was the best. That was awesome.
I hope they have some really good iconic moments in this battle. I mean, they've been hyping it up so much.
CGI, but of course, there's going to be.
There's got to be some. Yeah, there's got to be some. I think Rod and Sam have been talking back and forth in the chat a little bit. They were talking about. Let's see. Sam says the Mountain could easily turn on Cersei if his resurrector, who's Cersei's hand, I think controls him. So what if he doesn't agree with something Cersei says? So he has the Mountain killer. I mean, it's possible, right? Very possible.
The Mountain is not a big character to kill another big character. You know, he's a secondary.
Right.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see that coming, that's for sure. I wouldn't see that coming. I wouldn't see that coming. Sam says, and then saying he also says, oh yeah, Ghost showed up. Rod says, and also the hound earned her respect. Remember him talking her way back that the man got to have a code. A man's got to have a code. And he's got to have a code. Sam, by the way, I think it's a confirmed that the Night King is not Bran. I think so too. I never thought the Night King was Bran. I said that before the series started.
Think he's the Night King, but I think there is something there.
There is definitely something there, though. I have said that earlier, Sam, that there are 3 elements that we're looking at. It's 3 elements that's going to be the end game, right? You've got Bran and Hodor, and the fact that he can see the past, present, and the future. You've got Benjen and Dragonglass in the heart. There's going to be something with that. And the third one is blood sacrifice, which is definitely Jon, because even in the trailer, you saw Jon's blood dripping off the sword. It was the only blood in all of that little aftermath trailer. And I definitely think that his blood is going to be important. So those are the 3 elements right there. Those are them. Those are them. That's the end game right there. Okay. And how we get there is the question, right? But those are definitely the 3 elements. Also, Rod says the Night King is the old Azor Ahai. That could be. He could be old. He could be the one that sacrificed himself, because nobody ever knows really what happened to this Azor Ahai, who supposedly was the last hero who saved everybody. So I could see that. I mean, like, goes back into the theory of someone has to take his place. Someone has to go. You know, Rod had some really interesting theory about maybe Jon takes their Danny Jon baby, and he's the first. That's the first sacrificed baby, and you know he has to take the Night King's place, and I could see it. I can definitely see that more than Bran being the Night King, more than there being a what do you call it? What's it called when you get stuck in the circle of past, present, future, right? There's a word for that. I'm sorry. It's late at night, so I forget some of my words sometimes. Sam says, also, I'd hate to see another dragon or direwolf become a white. It would make me sad. I think I would cry, Sam. I think I would cry. Okay? I think I'm going to cry if that happens.
No, I think we're going to see the Dance of Dragons.
Yeah, we did have that conversation that we might see a Dance of Dragons, and there might be actually a fight between Danny and Jon at the end. With the Dance of Dragons. My son-in-law, he said that as well. He was like, Dance of Dragons, I see it coming.
Yeah. Seeing the conversation in the crypt with them, and how he was like, oh, so your sources, your people said that. Your people, you know. Yeah. So she was not all about it, of course.
Right.
And then in the previews with them not agreeing on stuff, you could see that they were not happy.
He says, speaking of Hodor, I think we will see him in the White Army. Please don't say that. I don't want to see him in the Night Army. You know who I do want to see in the Night Army, though, is that chick that was in Hardhome. That we fell in love with her at the beginning of the episode, and then they killed her at the end of the episode, and right at the end, she opens her eyes, and I want to see her. I want to see that chick. I want to see her. I was watching that episode with Snow Lover the other night, and I was like, oh, I want to see her. That's what she was like. I'm gonna go to my room. This girl won't stop talking. Speaking of Hodor, okay, and might see the undead direwolf Summer. Sorry, Sam. I hope not. I thought that too when I was rewatching. Remember, Summer, Bran's dog got killed in the cave, and he became part of the army. He became part of their army. So you're right. We may see some undead direwolves. Oh my gosh. I hope that preview wasn't the undead animals instead of the ones fighting for, right? That would be horrible.
Yeah. But don't forget,
butterfly effect. Thank you.
The possibility of the Dragonglass purifying, to help. I still like the whole theory of White Walker against White Walkers.
White Walker against White Walker. Good White Walker against bad White Walker.
Take a Dragonglass and go in to stab everybody.
Yes.
Who's dying, and saying, okay, I'm turning you, and I'm turning you. And now they have a whole new army. Right.
Sam says it would be funny to give Jamie a Dragonglass hand. Right? Why haven't we seen that? He could just slap some people. He can make him a dagger, like, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
About that. But go back to the prophecy of what his hand is being choked with. What she said.
Oh, you're talking about Cersei being choked. She's going to be choked. But that would work with the dragon glass hand, right?
It could work with if she's a White Walker.
If she's a White Walker, right? If she actually becomes Night Queen,
That's
right?
what makes me think that.
Yeah, that's possible.
Oh my God, I would love to see her as an Ice Queen.
I think it would be cool. It would definitely be cool. Rod says Double A was the second Night King, and John will have to be the third Night King. All about the pacts too, and sacrifice to save mankind. It's just sacrifice. Someone's gonna be sacrificed. We've got another watcher named Raul Gunter. And he says he's talking about Trump. He thinks it's a twin minister. And make America great again. Okay, so thanks for watching, Raul. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. So I think we've gone much further than we were gonna go at this point. So we really want to thank you all for watching. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button, guys, please help us out. Hit that thumbs up button. You can check out, I've got a lot of other videos that I made throughout the long night. If you want to check out some of my other theories, I've got 2 videos of Quaithe theories and all of her theories. And I was going to even make a third one because she's got more content of hers that I didn't even make a video on. I don't know if it's probably a little late at this point. Because I'm going to be doing recap videos also in between, each week in between. So be looking for my recap video on episode 2. I'm probably going to wait and watch it about 10 more times before I make my video. I definitely will. Quaithe and I are really enjoy doing this. We hope that you will join us.
Yeah.
We were going to do live streams 1 hour before every episode, and then probably about 30 minutes after each episode, so that you can get our first reactions and we can get yours. And we hope that you'll start joining us in the chat, and that you'll start being here with us, you guys. We really, really appreciate you supporting the channel. And I mentioned before that, we're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers because I can no longer live stream on my phone. I have to sit at my computer, which means I had a beautiful table. I couldn't show you the other side of it because I couldn't walk around it when we had the opening day. Just things like that. So what do you guys think about Arya with the dude? I forgot his name, Gendry. But also, I like the stream and subbed and turned on the bell. Thank you for turning your bell. Yes, if you want to be notified when I post something or when I start a live stream, turn on that notification bell, guys. Turn it on, and that's how you're gonna know. Yeah, we talked about Arya. We did talk about Arya and Gendry earlier in our live stream, and I think I was really shocked. I think Quaithe, were you shocked? I was really shocked, but I was glad.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know if I like that scene now. I was like, okay.
No, yeah, that's right. You didn't like it because she has a really hard time watching them grow up as a little child and then become a young lady like that. She has a hard time with that, I'm over that. I got grown kids, it's all right. I'm a grandma, it's okay. I'm cool. Yeah. I'm cool with all that. But yeah, I liked it. I liked it.
I did like her reaction when she found out who he was, when he told her, I'm Robert Baratheon's bastard. I liked her face. She was like, what the heck?
Oh yeah, she didn't know. She didn't know.
No,
yeah, and I think that made her feel more like, you know what, I'm gonna do it with him because if I get pregnant, at least it's gonna be a lord. Right?
She was already attracted to him. That just set it off.
Oh yeah, that just changed. I think that's why she asked him too. How many women? She's like, I'm not gonna sleep with you if you've been sleeping around with 100 people, 100 women.
It's like,
why are you asking? It's not your damn business.
He looked really, really surprised by everything too. He was caught off guard by her. Yeah, that was interesting though. That was an interesting scene.
Yeah, Sam thinks that she might die. I actually thought that she might die. And Sam, you gotta go back. And we had talked about Arya and her death and possible even resurrection and what her place might be. And I had thought she might die at the end of in season 7, but when she became a badass fighter,
I think she's gonna get the kiss of death.
yeah,
In the books, her mom got it. So I think she's gonna get it. I don't think they're gonna. I think they're going to keep kind of true to that part of the story. And I think the Hound's going to become a priest. He's going to join the Brotherhood in that aspect.
So, Rod, I know you told me to right-click on your name. Kind of have an issue. I cannot see live chat up here on my computer. And I'm watching live chat on my iPad. So I can't right-click. So I'm not quite sure how to resolve that. But if you would message me and let me know or give me some instruction, we could even do an email or something if you wanted. That way I can better understand what we need to do, and I'm willing to do that. But it probably can't do it right now, I'm thinking. Okay. So we're gonna guys, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, because I'm watching it again.
Yeah, I'm about to rewatch it myself. It's 11:30. We've been on here for 2 hours.
His eyes are blown out of his head. I wonder if the Starks are resurrected.
Click and hold.
I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts. I got to go watch this and make my notes.
Rod, I'm not going to hang up yet because I think I figured out what you're saying. But Quaithe, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And we look forward to having you again next week. Okay. And, call me when you want to talk about it. And I'll let you say goodbye.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. Thanks for chatting. And please chime in and, let's get some thoughts going and some debates going. And rewatch it like 20 times, and let's find things we need new stuff.
Let's find some new stuff, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks again. Thanks again for joining us.
Bye.
All right. It says go to channel report, remove, put user in timeout, hide user in this channel, or add moderator. Okay, add as a moderator. That's what you were saying. Okay, I did it. I did it, Rod. So I'm not sure how that works, but I did it. Click and hold. So it worked. That worked, Rod. I'm not quite sure if that means do we have to do that every time, or is that something that allows you can explain it to me. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. I always say a Valyrian phrase. It's kind of my thing. So I could pick one to say tonight. Just saying as well that I was running from something in the preview from the new season. Yeah, I'm waiting to see what's going to happen next episode with that. I am. She never runs from anything. Damn right about that, but she's running from these guys. So my Valyrian phrase for tonight, how about I'm Daenerys Targaryen? Mija Daenerys Janesma Targaryen entrar. I am Daenerys Targaryen. I am Daenerys Stormborn House Targaryen. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.